Welcome to Blackbeard Logic, where we cut through the noise and get straight to the logic on stories that matter. I am your host, Leon Francis, and today I am joined by my good friend, Michael Coachman, as we dive into this week's biggest headlines, from national shakeups to North Dakota's own battles. We've got a packed show, so let me break it down for you. First up, the Supreme Court just struck down President Trump's sweeping tariffs in a 6-3 ruling, calling them an overreach under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Reviews are mixed. Some see it as a win for free trade, but I am firmly in Trump's corner here. These tariffs are exactly what the founders envisioned, taxing the world for access to our markets instead of burdening the American citizen with endless taxes. It's about protecting our economy, not punishing our people. Don't miss Justices Clarence Thomas's scorching dissent as he torched the majority, saying neither the statutory text nor the Constitution provide a basis for ruling against the president. He hammered home that the statute authorized him to impose the duties. He reminded everyone that Congress has done so repeatedly since the founding with this court's blessing. That wasn't subtle. That was a direct rebuke. Michael and I will unpack why this decision could unravel billions in revenue and what it means for Trump's agenda moving forward. Shifting gears to foreign tensions, President Trump warned Iran of bad things if they don't cut a nuclear deal in the next 10 to 15 days, with a second U.S. aircraft carrier steaming toward the Middle East amid joint Iranian-Russian drills. Oil markets are jittery. The risk of conflict is real. What are the chances that we go to war with Iran this weekend? We'll debate the odds, the stakes, and whether this is brinksmanship or the prelude to something bigger. And then the bombshell arrest of former Prince Andrew in that Epstein-related probe. But hold on, not for the actual crime against kids he victimized. What's up with that? Charges are for misconduct in public office tied to Epstein, but the survivors are furious and the royal family is in turmoil. Is this justice served or just a sideshow? Michael and I will chop that up. Closer to home, in North Dakota, we've got high-stake questions. What do you want to hear from Trump's State of the Union speech next week? We will share our take and open it up for your thoughts on priorities like the economy, borders, and more. On the health front, Health Freedom North Dakota is firing back with a rebuttal to the North Dakota Department of Health and Human Services handling of that measles exposure at the Valley City Wrestling event. If you're not familiar, I'll break it down for you. Health Freedom North Dakota's mission is to educate folks on various healthcare treatments, develop the advocate for policies that expand freedom and protect consumers from fraud, from harm, and from misinformation. With cases climbing to 7 across counties like Pembina, Walsh, and Williams, we'll discuss their pushback and why vaccine debates are heating up again. And speaking of North Dakota, birth rates are in decline. Homeschool rates are surging. Private school enrollments are up. Yet overall, school enrollment rates are climbing? How does that add up? Make that math for me. Is someone importing families? Is this the great replacement playing out on a micro level right here in our state? We'll crunch the numbers and explore what's really behind these shifts. And finally, I'm breaking down the facts on the MMR vaccine, what you need to know amid the outbreak concerns. Michael Coachman joins me to tackle this and more. Stick around for the full discussion on Blackbeard Logic. Logic over hype every time. Let's get it. Man, I don't know what that was, but apparently I got some serious gremlins going on.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me.
I started this thing almost 10 minutes ago, and nothing but a black screen. And I don't know, like there's a lot of folks that are watching this, and it was just choppy. The intro was choppy. It was laggy. I don't know what's going on. So I'm Leon Francis. I am your host, your gremlin besot host of Blackbeard Logic. Here's my co-pilot, Michael Coachman. I am stoked to have you on. Our conversations are very enjoyable. I'll just say that you bring me from the brink of insanity on more than one occasion. So I'm very I'm very stoked to have you on.
Well,
Someone
I'm very
says that
honored to
you
be here,
are,
Leon. Very honored. And I don't take it lightly. You and Rick Jensen, you guys have been a blessing. You guys have been encouraging, and you're one some of the few people who are standing to fight for the people of North Dakota and ask the right questions, which is very important nowadays because not everybody is.
oh yeah, I question everything. I have a problem with that, I think. From way back. I question pretty much everything, even if it's in my own party. Some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight, you gotta it's questioning the conventional uh, knowledge and wisdom. Something that I think we don't do enough of. We don't have enough critical thinking. Like right before, right when I got in the door, hardly had time to kick my boots off or anything. I'm getting text messages from folks in Bismarck about the Bismarck Public School. They just issued this. I got it here somewhere. Basically, uh, uh, a measles outbreak warning, saying, and this is from a parent,
Mhm.
and I'll put it up here in a bit. Basically, saying that if there is a measles case in the school, then their unvaccinated kid would be sent home for I don't know how long. And I'm like, what? Like this stuff. And we're going to talk about the Fargo. Well, not so much Fargo. It was Valley City and what happened there with that wrestler. We're going to talk about that. My friends at North Dakota for Health Freedom has they've issued a statement in regards to that, so we're going to dig into that a little bit. And I'm also I want to give you guys a little info on like these MMRs, the vaccines, these measles vaccines, and did you know that before we had vaccines, everybody got measles and everybody pretty much got over it as a percentage of the population? And since we started getting these vaccines, I think this study goes back to 1996, I think, I want to say. I'll pull it up here in a bit. But, you know, there have been a lot of deaths from these vaccines, and it goes underreported or not reported at all. So, what are we doing? I also got a text, like as I was driving home, that some Fargo area kids were participating in the ICE protest, and I'm like, see, that's the problem, right there.
You,
We
you
don't
know,
have, we
you're
don't
hitting
have,
a lot of topics already in one sentence right there, Leon.
yeah, What-
There's a lot of topics right there. You already just, and that's just one
yeah,
thing. School.
like
Uh,
it's kind of all intertwined. Like we were
yeah.
talking about questioning the narrative. I have this personality that I look with a jaundiced eye at pretty much all the information that I'm reading. I have a skeptical eye because I want to know the truth. If I'm going to make an informed decision, I kind of want to know the truth. But let's just let's just go down the show sheet, and because I'm getting text pretty much all day, and I never look at them until I'm in a place that I can do so. So when I do look at my phone, I'm scrolling. Like I am, and to the folks out there that do text me, you should know that. You should know that if I'm working, and some folks that are listening right now have actually worked with me, and so
Mhm.
you know how I am. When I'm on a job site, my phone is not with me. I'm not that guy. I am a guy that puts my head into the mission until the mission is done, and then maybe I'll look at my phone. You know, that sort of thing. But so the first thing we're going to talk about, big story today, Supreme Court struck down Trump's tariffs. And the folks in the comments here, and I'll put them on screen. Can you see those, Michael, or no?
No.
Okay, here, I'll show them on screen here. Let's do that.
Yeah, I see it now, and I got your big donation QR code right there on the bottom.
Oh, that's my shameless plug there. Oh, sure. Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, I'm gonna just hide that. Clay's gonna be pissed, but yeah, I'm gonna have to do something with that. Make it like smaller and throw it off in the corner or something. But yeah, too many crying Karens out there. But a lot of the folks that listen to me, they understand the way I operate. So now this the Supreme Court, like I have been very skeptical of them over the years. Even when Trump, had a historic 3 picks, I was skeptical of some of those picks, and my skepticism was right. I mean, yeah, we got the Roe versus Wade, we did, but something like this, and I wrote an article about this. Folks think that tariffs are a new thing. They're not. They're what our founders um, started out with. They never wanted to tax the citizens in order to run the country. They figure, well, you know what? I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to ask you your opinion on the Supreme Court's this decision. The liberals are happy. They're like, "Oh my God, how is Trump going to pay for anything now? And the economy is going to tank, and this and that." I, I don't like that they did this. I don't think anything's going to change though. Especially with the tariffs that we've already like that Trump has already got from those countries. I don't think anything there is going to change. I do think going forward, he's going to have to think of some new strategies. But I am in the camp that I support the tariffs. Are you in that camp or are you not? What are your feelings on that, Michael?
Yeah, I am. I'm very much in that camp. Matter of fact, I would probably go a little heavier than what Trump did. But going back to the Supreme Court, when you're dealing with all the stuff that's going on with Trump, okay, all the things that's going on, you have to ask the right questions. A lot of times we're not asking the right questions, okay? You have to see the big picture. If you kind of understand what Trump is dealing with and his cabinet, then you can get a bigger picture of what's going on. The thing is, most of us, we are reactionary. In other words, we see the news pop out today, then we react real quick. We don't do that. You have to back up and say, how did we get that? Why did they do that? Who caused them to do that? There's a lot of questions you have to ask.
Yeah.
So looking at that, when you look at, because we always look at what, and by the way, you've been busy this week on a lot of news shows, and I'm like, wow, I have to listen to it while I'm sleeping too, so I can catch up all the shows. But when you start looking at the big picture, all right, you're going to get a different perspective in all the different things we're going to talk about, your audience when they listen, the things that are going on in North Dakota. You have to step back and see more.
Yep.
Again, because we're reactionary. So one of the things that with what's going on with the Supreme Court, why did they rule that way? You have to ask. This was sent to me. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. but you see a circle there.
Yeah.
And in it is on Epstein Island, and it says, don't you know who needs to be here? But this is Justice Robert, who showed here on Peter Island with Bill Clinton. So you got a picture of Roberts, and I sent that to you.
Oh no.
Roberts, and just probably about 20 minutes ago. So you probably didn't see it because I just got it not long ago. So you got Roberts, who is compromised already. So you got to ask your other Supreme Court justices, who are they also are compromised. So when you start understanding, this is a big picture, because this is a major effect on everything that's Trump doing. So when you see Trump, Pam Bondi, all these other individuals who are doing stuff, they're going to war. They're fighting not just the Democrats, the socialists, the globalists, but they also got people within their party, people within their group. Did this catch Trump by surprise? No. Trump is a brilliant chess master. He understands he has a lot of all of this going on. He usually has, just like a military, because he's working with the military. The military has what? Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, and all of these different things. Would you like it to go Plan A? Yeah. I don't think the things that happened, like when they went in Venezuela, was a Plan A. It was probably a Plan B, Plan C, but we won't know that because it went smoothly. Okay. So as far as the rest of America, that was a Plan A and it went good. I don't think it was, because nothing ever goes. That's your original. So the things that happened with the Supreme Court, that is a Plan B. I think it's also bringing attention. How can these justices say we can't charge these other countries these prices, whatever Trump tariffs, when they charge us? It's a recognition. Trump is out there saying, you know what, we're doing this here. I think when Tuesday come, or that 10 days when he comes out and say something, he's going to let everybody know, and I could be wrong on that, but it's a good opportunity to share, hey, we got a lot of corrupt individuals, and we're seeing that left and right.
So let's hold on to that thought until we hit the other topic. What do you want to see out of the State of the Union speech?
I think as much as possible to share the corruptness that he's dealing with. And see, and that's what we're starting to get spoon fed. We don't have a fork yet as far as cutting that prime rib stuff. We are the Epstein stuff is just a beginning to get us to get fed up what's going on. Because if you look at the Epstein stuff and you see the corruption, what they're doing with kids, what they're doing with babies, that's in our government. Yeah. That's just not like your pension. That's throughout our whole government. It doesn't matter if it's federal, state, or county. That's going across the world.
And do you notice that there is a direct correlation with money, power, and pedophilia, and demonic intentions? Like, I don't see that level of corruption down here in, plebistan. Let's just call it that. With the regular rank and file, the salt of the earth folks. We are like the God-fearing batteries in the Matrix. We just go about our day. We raise our family. We try to stave off as much harm and debt and corruption as possible. But those folks at the top, those folks and make no mistake, guys, we put those folks at the top. Were it not for us, the batteries in the Matrix, they would not have the position, the power, or the money that they have. So we are at fault. Hard stop.
In a way, yes, no, because they're not going to come out and say, hey, vote for me. I'm going to kill your kids and eat them and sell them on the black market. They're not doing that. They're not going to do that. They're going to say, hey, I'm here. I want you. Vote for me. We played hockey together. We did all of this. They're not going to come out and do that. No one does that. Even the devil didn't do that in the Garden of Eden. He said, hey, right. Surely you're not going to die. He used everything to question you, but he never came out and say, hey, you know what? If you eat this fruit, you're going to separate yourself from God. Well, the logic is, well, I'm not going to eat that fruit then. Those type of things. Everything that we're dealing with is on that type of a level. Smooth talkers. But you also notice those people always stay in that same circle. Look who's always running. If you ran for, say, governor or lieutenant governor, next you know I'm running for the Senate, next I'm running for the House, running back in to run for governor again. You're cycling the same people. It's not somebody like you, Leon, or people that are coming on the show, that you're 701. Those individuals, they don't want in because you're going to reveal corruption within the state.
That's why they fight so hard.
Yeah, so they're that's why their circle is like it's easy to control 10 people with a gun than 100 people.
But let me ask you this. So, I know this because of like several books that I've read that basically show how that little circle, that little cabal, just keeps itself revolving. One of the books that I read was Cash Patel, Government Gangsters. Mm-hmm. So then I'm stoked when Cash Patel gets in there, and then once again I'm disappointed. So what does that tell you?
You're going to be disappointed for a while, and I'm going to explain why. Just like our federal Supreme Court judges, you're going to see it also in your federal judges, in your state judges. I believe they did a warning shot to find out where they're at when they had Comey when they charged him, and that judge said, no good. See, that's what they need. That's why November is so important, because they have to get those rhinos that are voting that way, those Democrats and those judges. They can't impeach those people until they remove the judges. Look how much the judges are in influence right now, Trump, and what he's doing. He's doing everything legal. Believe me, if he wasn't doing anything legal, they would be coming at him more. But they're not. They're using personal and feelings, nothing more than feelings. Anyway, they're using that to go after him. So the battle he's having more, they usually say, never have a two-front war. Trump has a pretty much three-front war.
Yeah.
But he has the right individuals. In other words, he's fighting the socialist globalists. He's fighting the Democrats. He's fighting treason within his party. All these different things. So there's a lot going on. So to me, I'm patient. I'm very, very patient. I reading sometimes what is being said, what is not being said. So when you sit back and start looking at what's going on, Trump is not really upset. Is like, I knew you were going to do that. Now I'm going to go to plan B, because it's going to expose people. But it just takes time. We who name the name of Christ, and as Republicans, we should have been doing a lot more talking. Only reason we're more frustrated now is because we got somebody that's fighting for us. We should have been fighting and arguing more when Biden and Obama was in office.
Trust me, some of us were.
Yeah, we should have. Why are we getting mad at Trump? He only been in office, less than 2 years?
Yeah.
And we're not getting these results. Well, we had almost 8 years of common and socialism. Where were you then? So going back to the original question as far as the Supreme Court, I'm not worried about it. I believe that Trump knew this was going to happen. It's not a real bad thing, because like anything, when you don't have the whole picture, you come up with an answer that is not going to be proper. Okay, because you don't know what else is going on. So when you're sitting in Trump's office, okay, and the Supreme Court ruled that way, you and Trump, you're sitting there and go, okay, we know that's going to happen. What's our next phase? What are we going to do? Because we're not going to get rid of the tariffs. We're going to do it a different way. There's other options. The Democrats feel like they're a big win. Republicans saying, hey, look, we got a major loss. It ain't over until it happens. You
So, Mike,
know,
I'm going to pose something to you. A lot of folks in my circle, they are worried about the midterms. They're worried, like really worried. And then something you just said here, um, you said, we're talking about this closed circle. And okay, folks, I hear that ultra like sound. I hear that too. I don't know what to do with it. I've been plagued with gremlins from the start of this thing. I don't want to restart the program or restart my computer because I don't know how that's going to work either. So if you could just bear with me, when we hit that first commercial, I'll start unplugging stuff and play. I hear it too. I hear it in my ear, and I have no idea what it is. Like none. But so um, I, I was talking with my good friend Vance yesterday, and I think I was talking with Clay the other day, and we were talking about our concerns with the midterms, and then you and I we're talking about that cabal that just keeps kind of going around, and if you ever read Government Gangster, you know how that works. Like someone can be in a position of power, but he has acolytes behind him, and even if he is like removed from that position, he takes another position that is equally as powerful. He moves linearly. So, and then his acolyte gets in, and the policies keep going. They just keep going. Comey, that level of confidence to me is frightening. That dude was not worried, not one iota. But when you think about that, and I'll use this as an example, in Minnesota, they have that governor's race, and
mhm.
Michelle Tafoya is the supposed front runner. I am a Royce White guy,
Yeah.
but because I know he's a fighter, I know he's like me, I know that he's not going to take any garbage from them, which is why they hate him. So when I see the establishment throw all this money and all this support behind Michelle Tafoya, who is a pro-choice, here, air quotes, conservative, and you're like, wait a minute. And these are the choices that we have. And if I sit back and I don't vote because I have garbage choices, then I gotta worry about Democrats running the country for another 4 to 8 years. It
Mhm.
it, it to me it's like a no win situation. I want to get back to the tariffs. Again, I am a supporter of tariffs. I believe that in any market, if I wanted to open up let's just say a taco stand downtown Fargo on Broadway, I have to pay a fee to enter into that market because it's a lucrative market. And it is an exclusive market also. So if we're talking about the United States, we are a massive market.
Yes.
Everybody wants to get into this market. Why should you not pay a premium? And why the heck should we pay you for you to bring your goods into this market? This is the premium market. This is the big leagues. Why not do that? With you start doing that, and I think Trump's mindset was this: we start with the tariffs again, and my voice is going in and out. I did not give it enough rest. Um, Last week, had a thing hit me, knocked my voice out. Like last Friday, I didn't even do a show. Like I couldn't. And I figured, the effects are pretty much gone. Like I'm not sick or anything like that, but my voice comes and goes. So bear with me with that. But again, back to the tariffs. Um, Clarence Thomas, who I think is a hero. I think that we should have a monument to this dude. I love it. He he delivered a scathing dissent after that after the Supreme Court struck it down, and what he said was, and he was joined by Samuel Alito, who is solid, and Brent Kavanaugh, who is, but he argued that the court overstepped their jurisdiction by substituting its judgment for that of Congress and the executive branch. He declared that neither the statutory text nor the Constitution provides a basis for ruling against the president. He emphasized that the Congress had clearly authorized the president to regulate importation, a power historically understood to include imposing tariffs. He rejected the claims of improper delegation, stating that Congress has long entrusted the president with broad authority in trade and national emergency. And with this court's blessing, he said, and he maintained that the statute that Trump relied on authorized him to impose the duties on imports at issue. And I agree with that 100%. And again, if we go if we go back to our founding, that's what it was all about. The American market was a premium market. So we didn't start out with income taxes, folks. That was not a thing. Our founders would have balked at that. So to run the country, and we ran it so well with tariffs that we had a surplus, and they had a convention to figure out what to do with all the money. And then the globalists got power, and then they started taxing us. When I say the matrix, that's what I mean. I mean that we are the batteries. Me going to work and doing my quarterlies and seeing how much I'm sending those idiots. It gets me very hot, because I know that my money is not going to run the government that I approve of. It's not even going. It's actually working against me. My rights are I'm paying for a lot of my rights to be eroded by working my butt off and giving. And again, when I'm talking to you about taxes, this is my mindset. My time on this earth is finite. My time away from my wife and kids is precious to me. So when I'm out there working, and I'm working for a decent wage and all of that, and I have to pay some of that wage to a government entity who I don't agree with, a lot of the stuff that they're doing, that's theft to me. And if I do not pay it, then they will come and seize my property. And if I try to fight for my property, they're coming with guns. So that's violence. I do not see the upside in that at all. I could name some names of folks that I think similarly to, but I don't want the FBI to be knocking on my door. But
they may not knock.
Yeah, they're not going to knock. When they knock, it's going to be a battering ram. I know that. But
okay. when I had some friends, and they had court cases and stuff, and we had some stuff up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, yada, 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 or the federal state court would say, you hereby, we disagree with you due to the fact that you failed to do this, and this, and this. And the guys are like, man, I can't believe we failed. I said, no, you don't understand. You're not seeing it in the positive light. He goes, what do you mean? I said, the court state you failed because of this, and this, right? He goes, yeah. What if you fix that? He goes, they're really actually telling you what's broken. If you fixed it, then they don't have standing. So when the Supreme Court said, hey, look, Trump, you can't do it because I believe it was an IIE, something like that, some kind of weird thing.
Yep.
I said, so if you can't do that, it tells you that you can still do the other things. See, you have to look at, the court may say, hey, look, you cannot go down the road and take a left turn. All right, I'm going to go down the road, go straight, go right, stop.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You have to look at a lot of these things differently. When you look at things differently from the outside, it's not as bad as you think, because they're limited to what they're saying. So anything outside of that, they're not touching. So when they say, look, you can't charge tariff on this, what else can Trump do? And see, a lot of the things that he's privy to, we're not privy to. We kind of understand.
Yeah.
So if he's not panicking, we shouldn't panic.
Okay.
Right? He's frustrated because they did that, but he's not panicking because now he might have other options. We don't have the knowledge that Trump and his cabinet have to deal with this decision. We're not brought in. So again, like I said at the very beginning, we're reactionary. We only react to what we know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more. When you're dealing with the federal level, there's stuff that we are never going to be privy to. We're never going to sit down with Kash Patel and those guys and say, okay, give us the briefings that you've been having. We're not privy. When I was in the military, I got military briefing, but I got briefings that the generals didn't get or the colonels didn't get. I was only told only so much because there's a lot more to it.
Need to know.
Understanding there's a lot more to all of this. Never panic. We're just not informed because we don't have a need to know, as they would say.
So what you're saying is I'm a panicking, is what I am. As my buddy Jamie Brack would say, oh, these panicking and blah, blah, blah. But anyway.
Let me ask, and this is my other question. By you panicking, what can you change to the Supreme Court or Trump's cabinet? Not a thing. So all you're doing
my blood pressure up.
Exactly. So, but you know what? But when you sit back and your blood pressure's not worked up, and you get back and look at the big picture, you're sitting there and go, okay, I see what's going on. You don't need the panic because you can't change what's in D.C. Only thing you can really change besides what's in your household is some of the things in Fargo and here in the state. Only way you can change something in the federal level is to change our representatives. That's it. So when the Supreme Court says, we support this or against this, there's nothing you can do, besides having a talk show like I have now, invent, but it doesn't change anything. You have to be in a position to change things, and that is changing your Supreme Courts or judges.
One of the things that
your Senate, change your House, those individuals can change your judges because they will start asking the right questions. Should we or should we not authorize this judge as a Supreme Court? That is the most you can do. And to inform and teach people to be better prepared, not just in your county or your city, but also your state.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing, because right now, like I said, we don't have all the information that Trump has, so we're just going to have to trust his leadership. We're going to have to trust the people that he put in charge, even though we don't understand. Because one of the biggest things, you hired Burgum for Interior Secretary. And I'm not gonna figure it out because I could burn some brain cells on that one.
I know. You and me both.
But the logic I had is, and this is again Mike Coachman. I said, yeah, I would have brought him in if I was Trump. And he said, why? It's because if you bring your enemies closer, because Burgum has a lot of money. Who's his best friend? Bill Gates. These other ones. So if you bring Burgum in, Bill Gates can't throw money against you, and his other friends can't throw money against you. So you got them close, and then when you release all this stuff that's going on Epstein Island, oh, I didn't know that happened on Burgum.
we're going to talk about a little bit of Epstein Island, and I'm going to go to break now because we've been at it for like what three
40
quarters of
seconds.
an hour.
40 seconds.
Yeah. So, but when we come back, I want to pick your brain about Iran and what's going on over there, and whether or not we should just trust the science, so to speak. So,
Right.
with that, Leon Francis, Michael Coachman, this is Blackbeard Logic. We'll be right back right after this break, and I'm going to try to fix that sound. So you'll see me probably running around here, but we'll be right back right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon, Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
Flower Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Come on, no.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it. Let's get it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Leon Francis and my buddy Michael Coachman. He is the calm conservative, for real. The calm Christian conservative. I'm going to think of a moniker for you, man. But let's see. Dan says we need to repeal the 17th Amendment and be able to use our legislature to recall. Oh, yeah, that is a very good point, man. Common sense.
Yeah, that was repealed in 1913, I believe.
Yeah, it's something off topic that I really want to suss out with someone really smart. So it'll probably be you. Is
Don't ask my wife.
don't ask mine either. She wonders how I get through the day, much less put 2 socks on that match every morning. But anyway. I think another thing that's going up in front of the Supreme Court is the what is it, the anchor baby thing? What's it called?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That if they're born in the United States, even though the parents aren't, or not U.S. citizens.
I see. It's things like that, like abject abuses of something. This is why original intent is so important, especially when you're talking about Supreme Court nominees. Original intent. You cannot hammer those questions enough. We need to understand where they stand on original intent, or all of our rights will quickly be eroded. Our Second Amendment rights. They weren't talking about AR-15s and 9 millimeters. Anyway, but all right, let's go back to Iran. Now, I've been hearing scuttlebutt about Iran for some time, and I was not amused. This is where the libertarian part of me kind of perks his head up. Like when I saw the unrest over there, To me, what I see, I don't see a bunch of people trying to throw off the shackles of tyranny. I see the CIA over there trying to foment regime change. That's what I see. I'm like, that's us over there because I'm seeing it on American streets right now with the ICE raids and all of that. I don't know what to believe. I don't know how much that I'm getting isn't spoon fed propaganda, even if it's from my side. Even if I can hear Trump and hear conservative voices that I trust going that, these people, they're clamoring for democracy, which, in my humble opinion, is code word that we're over there messing around because our forms of democracy is not anybody else's form of democracy. I actually don't even like democracies. I'm
Me
a
neither.
constitutional republic guy, but that's just me because democracy is a bunch of guys in a Klan robe saying, "Hey, we want you to work for free," and then they have to do it because that's a democracy. The majority has spoken. That's what a democracy is, guys. If you don't understand that, you're missing the point. The reason we have a constitution is so a democracy does not subdue your rights. It's so that all of this stuff that we hold near and dear is enshrined in that document right there. You probably can't see it, but I have a life-size constitution with all the amendments right there. That thing says what the government can't do to me. If we were in a democracy, then a bunch of folks could get together, vote for a thing, and then that thing is the law of the land. So I'm not a democracy guy. Never have been. So with this Iran thing, I'm thinking in my head, why don't we just stay out of that? I don't want to commit troops to that. I don't want our CIA over there messing around in some other country, deposing someone. Maduro, I could see because that guy, he owes us. If I got a warrant, they're coming to my house. He had a warrant, they went to his house. So that's the way I rationalize that. With Iran, I'm not there. Where are
Okay.
you? And I believe that sometime very soon, probably this weekend, whenever Trump comes out and they start talking about aliens, I'm like, oh crap, we're about to go hard on somebody.
Mhm. My thoughts on Iran, again, you have to go back and ask the right question. Um, when back Obama was on as president, and you had Hillary as a Secretary of State, they gave 1/3 of our nuclear program to Iran. No one has been accountable for it, so you still got 1/3. We have a huge nuclear program.
Yeah,
No, I was part of it. It's huge. So
yeah.
if they gave 1/3 to Iran,
Mm.
we'll have it. They're a major threat.
How many people know that?
It was in the news. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it was huge. But they buried it. So if you know that Iran has a lot of nuclear capability, the cabal and the globalists wants to have a war. There's something to it. So I can understand why Iran was such a major thing. Just like Russia going into the Ukraine. They're finding out all these labs were done in Ukraine.
Yep.
So remember when Trump kept going, yeah, China was behind it. The COVID, the Wuhan flu, is because China, if you look in the Ukraine, is not China, Ukraine, it's China, Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Russians went in and took out a majority, if not all, of the labs that were making all of this. That's why we're in the Ukraine.
Like 21 labs. Yeah.
21, something like 21 labs. So when and most of the world didn't know that. Now they're finding out. When you're talking about Iran, I think there's something to do with the nuclear program that Secretary Hillary have given and Obama have given to them. That's why they went in and bombed it some months ago and just took out their nuclear capability. They still
have you seen the buildup? I think we're going in.
Because the globalists need some type of, I think, some type of conflict before the midterms. They need that because they
I don't
need
like
the
that.
midterms.
I don't
So
like that.
I think there's more to Iran when it comes to their nuclear program. Because if you listen to it, they that's like don't build don't build that nuclear weapon. Trump keep telling them don't do it, and it's with ours. And see, but with nuclear material, you can blow it up anywhere, and it will leave its fingerprint. So if we blow up, say like Iran take their nuclear bomb and blow it up in China or Russia or someplace, it's going to leave a U.S. fingerprint because it was our material. And then they say, see what America did? And I believe Trump is trying to stop that from happening. And I believe they're a lot closer. That's why he sent 2 carriers to B2. They're a lot closer than we think. They're trying to start a 3rd World War, and it doesn't matter if it's sacrificed the people there or not, because they don't care. If they're killing babies, where do you think you are in the food chain?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's more, again, because of nuclear security, it has to be people's rights, because most people are not ready to handle that, the real truth. No one wants to go back and remember what Hillary did as far as give away a lot of our nuclear material. That's huge.
Well, if you ask 30 people, 29 are going to have no idea what you're talking about, and that's a problem.
You know what? And think about Trump. How do I keep telling people and they're not listening?
Yeah.
So do I keep telling you? It's like we always said, if you're not, if I say stop, don't do it, stop, bam.
Yep.
I told you.
Yep, I told you. Like I remember back when they impeached him for the whole Ukraine thing, and I knew something was up then. I knew it. I knew that Democrats were going hard in the paint for Ukraine, and before they were not. They were happy with them being corrupt and them laundering their money through there. I think that's one of the reasons why Hunter Biden's laptop is a non-issue anymore.
Actually, it's a big thing. If they release really what's on their laptop, it will topple a lot of them. That's why see, people again forget when those police officers saw his laptop, all those officers were killed within 6 months.
How many people know that?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's like 11 of them. I don't know about you, but it's like Dickinson State when that one counselor was shot. He committed suicide by shooting himself twice in the back of the head.
The back of the head, yeah.
Yeah, he got his suicide.
You throw your gun behind you, and it does a little somersault, pop, pop. There you go.
Yeah.
So,
that's my take on Iran. I believe there's a lot more. I believe there's with our if they still have a large portion of our nuclear material. That's a major threat. I think that's a huge threat. Now,
do you think it's going to happen before or after the State of the Union?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
Wait a minute. No, Trump and his cabinet didn't call me yet, so I don't know. Can't understand why they won't give me a call and give me an update.
Yeah, it's not like you and Burgum, weren't cozy or anything, right?
I don't think we were ever cozy.
Lindsay says Trump better reveal what he has been doing since 2020 very soon. Well, Trump has been doing a lot.
He has.
Like a ton. And if you follow, and I know everybody isn't like crazy, data, gotta have it type guy like me, but like just the sheer amount of things that Trump has done and is doing will fill multiple textbooks. We just don't hear about it. You won't hear about it in the mainstream media. So you gotta Yeah, what you have to do is find alternative sources of media just so you can get the information. One of the things that I think has been a godsend is Elon taking over Twitter. Now it's not perfect, but I'm telling you, it is a sight better than it was. Getting like independent, like there'd be no Nick Shirley without Twitter
Mhm.
under Elon Musk. It just there wouldn't be. And the things that we know about the whole COVID thing and
Mhm.
Fauci and Hunter Biden's laptop and all of that stuff, because they had their thumb on every other social media aspect out there. So basically, even the news that you were getting was censored so heavily, it might as well have been the mainstream media because that's exactly what it is. Can Bob Wheeler steal some of Coach's time? No, no, he cannot.
Stop, Rick. Rick, I can't believe you just went there.
Yeah, I never verified it, but I heard there were 4 laptops. I don't know. So, with that, Dan, what happened was it wasn't it was one laptop. The hard drive was cloned, and Giuliani. It was given to Giuliani, which is why they went hard after that dude. They went, oh my god! I would not have wanted to been anywhere near Giuliani. That thing was like hot plutonium. But yeah, it the sheer amount of corruption in our government makes me just it when I see people like Prince Andrew, I couldn't get his name right the other night, and like arrested, but not for crimes against victims, but for I guess the crime is like misrepresenting the crown or something like that, embarrassing, basically
It's
embarrassing royalty, and I'm like, are
you have to remember, Leon and people, until you fix the courts. Remember, I was talking about Comey. He was a low-hanging fruit, and he hasn't been convicted. Why? Because of our judges. We get
he was
such
so
low
confident.
judges.
That
That's why, again, no November midterms is huge, and it's so important here, even in our state. We need to put proper people in so we can start seeing justice.
right.
Um,
Let me
because you can't do anything.
someone there is a person down there. I think her name is Karen. No pun intended. And she says, "Why is Trump in the Epstein file so much?" Okay, he's not. And
He is, but not
when
as a pedo.
yeah, as when he is mentioned in there, it's not good. Like Epstein hated Trump.
Yes.
Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Trump dropped a dime on him. The entire reason that Epstein went to jail the first time, and it wasn't really jail, it was like house arrest or some stupid thing. Like, and that needs to be reinvestigated also. Trump dropped a dime on that dude, worked with the FBI, and they slapped that dude on the wrist. They slapped him on the wrist. Trump he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago because he was a garbage person. So when I hear people saying that, and I just froze. Can you guys still see me?
I
Hear
can
me?
see.
Okay. So when I hear people say things like that, it just drives me crazy because trust me, if Trump was actually in there doing
Yep.
all these various things, they wouldn't have needed to concoct 93 friggin' felonies to get him. They wouldn't have had to do the whole Russia collusion thing to get him. They could have him in Epstein files in like video and pictures molesting little kids. Like they wouldn't have needed to bother with all of the illegal crap that they did to this dude. They wouldn't have had to try to shoot him in the friggin' face if they could just pull up Epstein files. So don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot. If you think that Trump is in those Epstein files doing something nefarious, and your favorite MSNBC host didn't bring it up 4 years ago, then you're out of your friggin' mind. That's not a thing. Look to your own. That thing is replete with Democrats, with socialists, with people from all over the globe, with elitists, even some. I'm about to piss some people off. Steve Bannon is in there. I think there's something to that. I think that dude, there's something to that. So even people on my side of the aisle, I want to see them under a jail. I do not believe that Donald Trump is one of those people. I just don't. I know the history. He's been talking about Epstein for not just a couple of years, but since back in the 90s when he dropped a dime on the idiot. So that's my 2 cents on that. Hope I didn't lose a viewer, but sometimes you got to be educated. The Senate is especially.
You had a minute, 1 hour and 2 minutes and 15 seconds before you started to go vertical. So that's good. You went a whole hour, man. I'm like, wow, he's doing really good.
And you notice not a single profane word. If this was me and Jamie on here, oh my God.
For you and Bob.
Oh, me and Bob. They'd have shut down the stream on YouTube a long time ago, man. I got to get that dude back on. I think my next show is going to be me and Bob just cutting up, man.
Yeah. I concur with you on that, Leon. If he was in there as a negative, he never would have made it as president at all. They would have just threw it out there in New York as they throw those charges on him. They would have said, hey, he's also involved with Epstein. So no, he's not in there for a negative.
Do you the person that asked that question, do you understand that the law they tried to get Trump on, all of those felonies, was not even a law? Even liberals were saying that's not going to work. I mean, it's not going to pass the legal muster. They had to cobble together a couple of things that weren't even actual laws just to do that. And it is just the height of ignorance. It's a retardation to believe that they would go through that level of Machiavellian strategy when they had something on a silver platter. Like, there's just no way, absolutely not. I would not believe that. If you believe that, you need to change the channel every once in a while. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Anyway, so did we
work with Leon with democracy or diplomacy and how to talk with people?
Did I mention I'm ornery? It's salty. It's southern. Yeah, that's not going to work with me. What's going to work with me is I'm going to hit another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit. Well, you know what? Here, before I go to break, a couple of things that I want to hear from Trump, and that way we can put that section to bed and hit North Dakota. A couple of things I want to hear from Trump. I want to hear his actual thoughts on the SCOTUS ruling. I want to hear that. I want to hear the plan going forward after this whole tariff thing, after they kind of knock that down. Like you said, you believe that Trump is playing like 3D chess. So he already has like a contingency plan, and I want to hear that plan. I also want to hear if something didn't happen in Iran already, I want to hear that plan. I want to hear why we're going in. I don't want a George Bush, we're exporting democracy, because that's a dumbass thing to say. Sorry, Coach. I don't like
it. Is.
I don't like talk like that. We don't export democracy. Our democracy is pretty crappy. So, you know, and that's where I'm at on that. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear regime change or anything like that. You tell me that they're building nuclear weapons, and it's not like yellow cake and that whole thing. You tell me that they're building nuclear weapons with fissile materials that they got from Hillary Clinton and blah, blah, blah. That's what I want to hear. I also want to hear what we're actually doing to get all these illegals out of this country because I like Tom Holman. I approve of the job that he's doing. I don't think we're doing enough because the amount of people that they let into this country, we're not even scratching the surface.
Not even
And
close.
if that is a thing that's going to continue, forget about free and fair elections because that ain't going to happen. That is the reason they let all these people in. I want to know a plan. I want to know a strategy on how we are going to have actual, safe, and fair elections. I, those are a couple of the things that I want to hear. What about you, Coach?
I have solutions or that would be for as far as the elections. Um, as far as going in Iran, we're not going to really hear, I don't believe, because when you look at that military type buildup, there's a lot of things we don't know. One thing I have seen, if you go back again, go back to your history of um, Vietnam. Okay, we're going to attack this hill tomorrow. Well, the Vietnamese left that hill. We attacked it, bombed it. They move right back in. When it comes to military operations, we really don't need to know. We do need to know what's going on, the kind of the big picture. But the details, that's where we have to say we have to trust our president. And if he's been honest for since he's been president, even when before he was has been straight up, let's trust him. We have to trust him because he hasn't given up really anything to doubt him, except for maybe a couple things, but they're gray area, you know. But you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So
I'm good with a 5,000-foot view. I'm good with that.
So for right now, whatever's going on there, obviously it's huge because you just don't move two carrier groups to an area. I can't remember the last time we ever moved two carriers like that, except for, again, Vietnam. But then we were some serious police conflict in there. So right now we're moving that many B2s, that many B1s, that many F-35s and 15s and 8. There's something that we do not, because you don't want the enemy to know what we know. Because if they know what we know, then they know how to move it. So that's why I believe he's doing everything he can to say, look, you don't want to go this route, Mr. Khomeini. You don't want to go this route. Please.
It looks to me like he's trying to contain them.
Yes, because if there's something he's doing, or the Iran is doing, he's trying to keep it in. Because if they're going to launch a missile, we got everything that's going to be needed. Patriot missiles, we got all the surf air-to-air missiles. We're doing everything because they must be close to something. That's
a very good point.
Military history and how it works. You just don't do that. That's a lot of individuals. That's putting a lot of Americans in harm's way, which means there's a reason. And India stepped up.
Yeah.
So why is so there's something that's going on that we don't know about. And to me, we're just going to have to trust the president on that, on that whole Iran thing, because again, we're not in those briefings. It's not a democracy thing. We learned that from the 7 conflicts he stopped. We saw what he did with down in South America. He's doing everything to give people their rights. He's trying to fix Cuba. He's trying to do all of that to let the people be in charge. I believe he believes, and we the people should be in charge, no matter what country. So knowing that history, so if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 13, you're saying, well, guess what 14 is going to be? Probably the same thing. So until otherwise, let's just trust that. That's me.
Trump works for Israel. I can't. I can't do this, dude. I Jason says Trump works for Israel. Like I just can't take people like that seriously. I'm sorry.
You know,
I
if he's, I know they give, and this is probably the only thing that really bothers me. Not really bothered me, but you know what?
I know what you're gonna say, and it bothers
They
me
give
too.
money to them. I'm like,
Yep.
American people, American people, American people. Now, it's one of
Well,
those. I have seen them take the scriptures and I think, kind of misalign it with Israel. But you know what? Again, there's nothing I can do about that right now. Now, if I was in the Senate, if I was someplace important, to say, hey, look, Mr. President, you might want to look at this differently. But I'm not there, so there's nothing I can do as far as that. But this, we have to take sometimes. Was that the friend of my enemy is my friend.
I
Sometimes
was,
you have to do that. You have
yeah,
to know, like I was alluding to with Burgum earlier. You know, why did he do that? Well, sometimes if you bring him in close, it shuts down a lot of opposition against you.
yeah,
Sometimes you have to use, when you look at the global scale, which we do not have that big picture, is the global scale, who's you're working with, who you're not working with. Because you do want to try to achieve peace throughout the Middle East and all the differences with your countries. Because you can't have a four-front war or a five-front war. So you've got to
yeah,
say, okay, let's not have any, what can I do to meet your needs right now so I can deal with these globalists within our Congress? You know, you got your AOCs, you got all these other individuals who are fighting against you. You only have so many people in your in your circle. Because if you think about it, you got the UN, you got the WHO, you got all these individuals who are throwing money and are after you.
yeah.
You got to say, okay, I don't totally support this guy. He doesn't hate me, but if I can make him neutral right now as friends, then I can concentrate on something different.
Yep.
You have to think big picture, folks.
Big picture.
And it's a very big picture. You're talking
And
about 179 countries, and you're trying to work it and still deal with your Supreme Court. You're trying to deal with your rhino Republicans, and then your whack Democrats. This is not easy. Then you have governors.
mm,
Then you got Mandela. You've got so many different things. You
yeah,
have to say, I can't fight this battle right now. I will do it later. Right now, his
and
big battle is November. And he's trying to put as many people in to get people on his side. He needs people like you folks, you, Leon, to be on his side so we can fight this. These other things we can work out later. But our
yeah,
major battle is our freedom. World War III. That's what
yeah,
they're trying to do. They're trying to inject you with medicines or viruses and everything else. There's so many battles, so many fronts. You have to pick your battle. It's just like here in North Dakota. Why aren't you, some people, majorly involved? Because you only can fight at the city council. You might fight at the county commissioners. Why? You only can fight so much. Right now, fighting some things in Bismarck are very hard. If it was
yeah.
easy, everybody'd be down in Bismarck speaking and said, "No, I don't want to support this. No, we don't think we should fund this." But
Here,
everybody
let me push let me push back on that one thing. I think that mindset, if the folks in Bismarck, the folks in Washington, um, understood the American citizens' mindset was that, we'd have a lot less corruption. If they knew that if they did something dumb or stupid or corrupt, there'd be just a gang of us, at the state capitol or in Washington. And but they've gotten so comfortable, and we've gotten way too comfortable. And
well,
I'm going
kind
to
of
address.
yes and no. Remember,
Yeah,
I talked to you the other day. Remember back in 2019 when we were doing the resolutions.
Yep.
And we had to keep bringing this book out.
Yep.
That was within the Republican Party.
Yep.
That was within the Republican Party, and we were exhausted from fighting all this socialist globalists. That was within.
I was so pissed. I was so pissed.
So just think about that. If that was back in 2019, and when we're supposed to have conservatives fighting for this book,
Yep.
just imagine the people in the meantime who infiltrated, who came inside. We're still fighting, or you wouldn't still be on the air. I think now there's a change. There's a change, not just in our state, but our nation, as far as people standing up and saying what's right. And I think you're going to see a lot more. And I'm going to let you take your break right now, because you can see it even in our North Dakota politics. It's changing for the good. Shows like this is changing the mindset of people.
Yeah.
And rhinos, the globalists, they see that. And I'm going to tell you why and how they're doing it.
I want to address the Trump works for Israel. Now, I am in the camp that we should not be there should not be just this spigot turned on for all these other countries. I say pull back all that funding. I think that what was exposed by Doge with USAID, with that whole thing, the amount of money, my hard-earned tax-paying money going overseas, I say stop it all. I don't believe that Israel needs any of our money. They are a wealthy nation. I do believe that we need them, though. I do believe that over there, and they need us. Trust me, they're surrounded by people that want to murder their faces. So they need us. We need them. And as long as we have a healthy relationship, I got no problem with that. I do not think. I think that Trump loves America. I think that his entire shtick is not a shtick. I think that's who he is. He is a America first type person, and we haven't seen that in a very long time. He is unapologetically American. So to say that he works for Israel, I can't wrap my mind around that. I do agree we shouldn't be sending all this money over there, but I also believe that we shouldn't be sending a ton of money anywhere until we get, like, we have bridges, we have ghettos, we have places that are falling apart right here in America. We have veterans that sleep on the street right now. We have, I personally know, I can count maybe 7, 8, and if I think about it, it'd probably be closer to 20 veterans that have fallen on very hard times, and they have a hell of a time getting assistance. Like, we got problems here, and we don't have money. I remember when Trump was asking for $3 billion to do the whole border wall, and they were like, "Oh my God, $3 billion!" Minnesota, those Somalians stole $9 billion, and nobody. I mean, what? Wait, what? No,
what? I know what.
So, Jason,
they took more money back to their country, more than we could build a
wall. I remember Democrats and rhinos going, "Oh, that's a lot of money," blah blah. But man,
they took so much money that those guys in Minnesota took so much money. You could build a wall on the northern border.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna put this segment to bed. We're going to come back and talk a little North Dakota shenanigans.
Well, I do want to say this here, as far as Trump and Israel, and people don't see that. No one complained when Obama and Biden were giving all the money out and working with Israel. It's just Trump. It just amazed me how Trump should be doing this. Where were you when Biden was running? Where were you when, or was running the nation? Where were you when Obama was running the nation? No one said anything. He's done more than those two combined in years
Yeah,
for our nation any other
Yeah.
time.
I
This
agree.
is the first president that said, you're going to wind up getting a check from all the tariffs and everything, and we're giving it to the people. And you're going to
And
see
Democrats were fighting. Democrats fought that. They were like, "Oh my God, he's going to cause inflation. He's going to wait." Democrats are now
you
physically,
saw $2 to 30-cent gas.
yeah,
So
Mm.
I think by end of the year, you're going to see, which it's already under $2 in some places. I'm going to see like $1.50. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things. Again, if you're going to complain about Trump, I'm not worshiping him or anything like that. I only worship one person. That's the Lord Jesus Christ. He's the only
Amen.
one. Trump's a sinner just like the rest of us. And if he is saved by grace, he needs to read this Bible a couple more times. But otherwise than that, I think he's doing an excellent job. He's doing more for our nation than anybody else in a long time. When he had that Black History meeting in the White House, those were a bunch of individuals that was saying praises. Was that one grandma? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, she had me rolling, man.
Man, cook.
I'm going down
Leave
the road.
that man alone. Yeah.
So, and you didn't see that with Biden or Obama. You didn't see that type of energy. You didn't see that love for a person. They say, yeah, we love Obama, we love Hillary. Anyway, but no, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Don't give the man an opportunity. At the end of 4 years, if somehow they say, hey, look, he can run again, vote for him or don't vote for him. But give him an opportunity to fix it in the next 4 years. You gave Obama, you gave Biden an opportunity to do stuff. You didn't say much. Then give Trump the same respect as far as that. That's all I'm saying.
100%. Let the man cook, and we'll be right back right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
I am Leon Francis, and this is Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Yeah. I tried to fix that. Here, I'm going to listen and see if I can still hear it. Good God, I still do. I don't know. Guys, I have no idea how to fix that. So I'm sorry. I tried. I'm out of breath right now because I was unplugging things and plugging them back in and all of that good stuff. All right. So back here in the Dakotas, one of the stories that kind of blew up this week was, and I'm just going to give you the Cliff Notes version of it. So you got this young kid. Good God, I am out of breath. Wow. You got this young kid. He's a wrestler. He's doing, he's grinding it out. Really salt of the earth kid. Family are Christian, conservative, and they got a religious exemption for their kids because they didn't want their kids vaccinated. All right, that's where we start. So this kid, he grinds it out. Last year, he's the only one on his team that makes state. He was injured, comes back this year, grinding it out, and now they're at the qualifiers. A week prior to the incident that led up to everything, a vaccinated spectator walked into the gym where this kid was wrestling. Now, this kid and this spectator never had any contact, didn't even know each other, um, nothing. But this kid at 10 o'clock at night, 10, 11 o'clock at night, gets woken up out of his bed in Valley City. They were in the hotel room. I think he was in there with another one of his teammates. Gets woken up, told to basically pack his stuff up, wait in the lobby. His parents, who are 4 hours away, 4 hours away, because they live in Nietzsche, North Dakota. You know where that is, right, Coach? That's
Yep.
Yeah, you drive through Grand Forks and you keep going till you almost hit the Canadian border. I've been up there many times to Pembina. Alona, if she's listening, she knows. I've been up there a ton for UPS. But anyway, long story short, they get a phone call from North Dakota Department of Health and Human Services. I call her Gestapo Jen. This Gestapo Jen basically puts the fear of God into these parents, tell them that they have to go pick this kid up. He's got to be in quarantine for, I don't know, 21 days and blah, blah, blah. So they drive all the way down. The coaches are like, they support the family. They don't know what to do. The father is like, hey, can I, just have him stay in another hotel room? Or they were trying to work something out before the parents got in the car and drove down. Nothing could be done about it. They had to pick them up, pick the kid up. So they get down there, and then they're pressured further into getting their other three daughters vaccinated, because if they were not vaccinated, then they would be quarantined also. So that means they're missing school. They're missing everything. And so they vaccinated the girls against their better wishes, because obviously they had a religious exemption. They don't believe in putting something in their body, and I agree with this, that has aborted fetal tissues. And I agree with that. I'm like my kid. I don't have any vaccines. I'm pure blood, if you want to use that term. My kid neither. And that's just me. But these parents violated their closely held beliefs because they were afraid, because this Gestapo Jen put the fear of God into them. And so after, the father gets home and they sleep on it, because imagine you get woke up in the middle of the night, you're being told you got to come pick your kid up. It's a 4-hour drive from Nietzsche down to, Valley City. And so you get there, and then they pressure you to get your other kids, and then you sleep on it, and you're like, something doesn't sit right with me with that. And so you call her, and she says, well, I never told you to go pick him up. It was only a recommendation. Think about that.
Recommendation, but he's sitting in the lobby waiting for you.
Yeah.
How's that work?
And so someone contacted me, and I'm not going to say the name, but it was a representative contacted me, and kind of filled me in. The following morning, I spoke one-on-one with the father. I didn't interview him, anything. It was just a guy, a father, and a father talking. And so he gave me the rundown, and that rundown I posted on my social media, and it just kind of blew up from there.
Yes, it did.
But so one of the things that I want to discuss here. And as a matter of fact, as I was driving home, a parent in the Bismarck public school system sent me this. Here, I'm going to see if I put it in here. Yeah, sent me that. Now, this says Bismarck Public Schools. I hope everyone can see it. Dear parent or guardian, we want to share an important health reminder with you. According to the North Dakota Department of Health, there are currently several active measles cases in North Dakota, concentrated in Williams, Pembina, and Walsh counties. There are also active cases in neighboring states. There are no known cases in Bismarck at this time. This serves as a reminder that measles can easily reach any community, often through travel. Measles is highly contagious illness that can spread quickly, especially in areas where MMR, that's measles, mumps, and rubella, vaccination rates are low. In fact, individuals who are not vaccinated have a 90% chance of contract. I'm laughing because, again, the guy that started all this was vaccinated. Like the kid still doesn't have measles. The kid that they quarantined still doesn't have, healthy as a horse. The guy that was vaccinated is the guy that started this whole thing, and he got measles. So that's funny to me. Our records show that your child either has a documented exemption from the MMR vaccine or does not have a current record of the MMR vaccine on file. In the event that a measles case is identified in your child's school, North Dakota Century Code, they give the code, requires that an unvaccinated individual who are exposed must stay home. This exclusion period continues until 21 days have passed since the most recent exposure. And I want to know what they mean by exposure. Because, again, if we go back to this incident, this kid wasn't exposed. They're in a gymnasium. He is on the floor. This person was not a wrestler, had no interactions with any coaches or any kids that were down there. He's a spectator. So how is that an exposure? Anyway, Bismarck Public Schools is committed to keeping families informed and prepared. While there's no cause for alarm at this time, yada, yada, yada. If your child has recently received an MMR or MMRV vaccine, or if you have updated your records to share, please provide that information to your school as soon as possible. If you have any questions, we encourage you to reach out to your child's healthcare provider, yada, yada, yada. Now, just so everyone understands where Leon Francis comes from in this whole headspace, and I've told this story before, and I have actually fought in the last legislative session. I was standing there trying to give a modicum of common sense to a bunch of idiots and a couple of really, really smart people in there that I respect. I don't believe that you need an exemption. When I worked as the network administrator for UPS, I had this big section. It's called 0304. So that's from Pembina all the way down the eastern side of North Dakota to the South Dakota border and the western part of Minnesota. So you got your Fergus Falls and Devil's Lakes and Detroit Lakes and all those places. And they told me I had to get the COVID jab. And I said no. And that was it. I just told them no. And they were like, well, you can get this exemption. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing an exemption. I'm just not putting that in my body. It's just a hard no for me. And that's it. And I understand that a lot of folks are not in a place where they can do that. But I believe that without informed consent, there should be no requiring me to get an exemption for something that I do not want or agree with. I shouldn't have to have an exemption for my kid if I just say no. I don't. What if I'm not a religious person, I just don't want the heavy metals and the mercury and all of that stuff. What are we doing there? I don't believe, especially. What if I'm an atheist, yet I know the history of these vaccines? What if I'm an atheist and I am vaccinated, and then COVID kind of made me go, wait a minute, why do I need an exemption to say no? That's where my headspace is right there. So we're going to start this section of this conversation off right there. Michael, this is your kid. How do you react?
I could tell you, they wouldn't. I was writing. You see me sometimes. I'm writing notes and stuff like that to make sure I don't forget.
Yeah.
There was like 6 people with measles, correct?
Yep.
So that's like 6 out of 850,000 people. So if 6 people got sprayed by skunks, I think everybody in the state needed to be sprayed by a skunk to prevent themselves from being sprayed by a skunk. Same type of logic. So, but I wouldn't do it. Matter of fact, I didn't do it with none of my kids. My daughter, who's now married, she's anyway, she has 3 kids and she doesn't vaccinate them because that's what we did. We have done that. But what the questions again, this person, was this individual who was vaccinated? Were they illegal or what? Where is that person? How they
I
know
want to
that
know
person
that.
was that way? So the
That's
question
something else I want to know.
yes. So that's the key right there. How they know that a vaccinated person went into that gym at all. And
Because they
when you
contracted.
ask, how did they get there that fast? Because you figure it was during the day. That was pretty quick. And how they know it was that kid? I hate to tell you, but doing a wrestling tournament, there's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So how come they didn't get any other kids? Why did not get the kid that was in the same room with them? Because if he got contaminated, then that kid got contaminated, which the coach was, which was the other kids.
Yeah.
But
I think the other kid was vaccinated.
Yeah, I think it was a by design. I think it's something that the HHS has been working under the surface, abusing their powers. Again, that's me. I think they are. For the simple reason, early last year, there was a lady who had a baby. I don't know if you heard about this, and she did not want to vaccinate her baby. So they came and tried to take the baby. And we had a bunch of legislators and the people involved who stood in for this lady to keep that from happening. I believe this is going on more than you imagine. Is this happened to be a couple of hiccups for them or road bumps that it just popped up and people noticing it? But I believe they're still doing this.
Yeah.
This is a huge organization. I sent you the other day back in 2020 when Burgum signed the COVID-19 and gave HHS all this authority. I don't think it's been rescinded yet. So those people are still going in that executive order, I believe, from when Burgum wrote it. So if they still have this authority or still believe in this said authority, they're doing that. I don't know their main motive, except for same with COVID, as far as infecting people, control of your kids. That is a major thing, which I see in a lot of schools. And you showed up a chart earlier when you first started the program, talking about there's more homeschoolers.
Yep.
They're losing their way with this. I think if more people could, I think a lot more people will go to private schools and homeschools. I don't have no problem with homeschool. In fact, my daughter was in the homeschool with my sons, and then we went to our church private school, and then my granddaughter, when I was taking care of her, I graduated her. I was her principal, and
Awesome.
it was great.
Oh, they hate you. they hate people like you, man.
You know what?
um,
One thing I've learned that when people hate me, I still love them.
yeah. And you're doing something right.
Until they have a Damascus Road experience, I don't hate them.
Amen, amen.
So
Now,
as far as this with the parent, I wouldn't. I will, because people still have their free will. And some people
not without informed consent.
correct.
Without
Conformed
consent,
consent, they still go, and that's their choice. But you're right. The way this is brought up, what you said, Mrs. Hitler or what her name is,
Gestapo Jen. Let's not dead name her.
No. Once they start doing it in her emails in her office, we're all part of the SS.
I'm
social services. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
But so there's a couple of points to be made here. One, I think that Jen is going to be on the unemployment line here pretty quick. Two,
no.
I believe so. I mean, they came out and backtracked majorly. I don't know if you saw their little press release. They completely walked everything back. It was a recommendation. We didn't force them. Blah blah blah. This and that. I do want to address something. Ask yourself this. Dan says, does the state own your child, or do you? Now, believe it or not, I have made this same argument in Bismarck, because I believe that the state believes, and especially schools believe, that kid belongs to them.
Yes, they do.
If you, and I'll give you an example. Say you had your kid in private school, or you guys just recently moved to another location, and you're thinking about putting your kid in private school. The public school in that area, if they have your name, your address, and all of that stuff, your kid is already enrolled in that school. Your kid will start racking up absent days in that school system, even though you never enrolled him in there. You never set foot in that school, anything like that. Your kid is enrolled there. And if you decide to enroll him there, he's got to deal with all of those absent days, those truant days. And if that doesn't tell you what they believe, I don't know what does. Not to mention that example that you gave. Mom gives birth. She doesn't want the kid to have all of these shots. And what they did. Now, I have very, very close friends that I am still very, very close with, that were fighting that fight. So I know the details to that. Again, I don't advocate for violence. But you come between me and my kid, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. My job, God blew breath into my body to one day protect my family. And I believe that. And I believe it's an abdication of my responsibility and of what God directed me to do if I do not take care and provide and protect for my family. So you put yourself on the opposite side of that, we have problems. You've got some fake authority. I have divine authority, in my humble opinion. And that's how it's going down. And I'm going to take a step back from that whole thing. What I do want to do is, like, there are a number of organizations out there. the organization that I like, that I love what they're doing, is the Health Freedom North Dakota.
Yes.
Those guys, Health Freedom North Dakota, and I'm going to try to. I may try to do like maybe a midweek show with the director over there, but I want to. Here, I'm going to do this. Give me a second here. Come on now, get up there. All right, there we go. So let me see. All right, this is the release.
I just saw number 2.
What's that?
Number 2. Vaccination does not eliminate risk. Then why I get it.
All right.
I'm like, why I get it?
No. So this is Health Freedom North Dakota. Alexis Wangler.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going to try to have her on, but I'm going to read this. This is their press release in regards to this incident that happened in Valley City. So, fact, fairness, and students' rights must prevail. Rebuttal to North Dakota Department of Health and Human Services handling of measles exposure at Valley City wrestling event. Valley City, North Dakota, in response to recent statements issued by the North Dakota Department of Health and Human Services concerning the alleged measles exposure tied to the wrestling tournament. And I'm going to take one step back. Just so you guys understand, at the time that this happened, there were 6 reported measles cases in the entirety of North Dakota. A third of those cases were vaccinated people. So just let that sit and marinate for a bit. Most here, let me go back up here. Health Freedom North Dakota emphatically affirms that critical concerns raised by families have not been adequately addressed or accurately represented by NDOHHS. Most importantly, we reiterate that no public health authority should be permitted to override students' rights, compromise mental health, or mischaracterize voluntary health guidance as mandatory actions. And that is exactly what Gestapo Gen did. Number 1, clarifying the record on exposure and vaccination risk. Contrary to NDHHS insistence that their actions were routine contact tracing and CDC-aligned guidance, this episode raises serious questions about how exposure notifications were communicated to families, including representations that left parents believing that their child had to leave the tournament immediately rather than being recommended to do so. Now, again, I asked, and I asked you this, Michael, if you had this conversation and then you drove 4 hours to pick your kid up and you tried to get, before you got on the road, you said, hey, can we get another hotel room? And he stays there until in the morning and they tell you no. Do you consider that a recommendation?
No,
absolutely not.
Not even.
Anyway, that was garbage. And again,
the fact that you have their phone number calling shows that yes, they did.
And that
and were you targeted? If you're the only person that was a targeting,
and at 10:30 at night.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah. Moreover, public reporting confirms that the individual in question was contagious at the earlier Walhalla tournament on February 7th. Yet wrestlers and coaches.
So this person was at another tournament?
So I'm going to take a step back. This person was a week prior to this incident.
Right.
So he was at that. This vaccinated person that started all this a week prior was at another wrestling event that this kid wrestled at. He was a spectator. He never had any contact with any coaches or any players. But that vaccinated person had measles, apparently. And so that was the onus for Gestapo Gen to give these guys a 10:30 at night phone call, rouse them out of bed, make them drive 4 hours, force them to get their other kids vaccinated, quarantine this kid for 21 days. The kid is in quarantine.
So
He
was
can't
there
go back to
anybody
school.
else in quarantine? Is this the only one?
The only one that I know of. I put it out there. Anyone can contact me if this happened to your kid under these circumstances in this same scenario. Please contact me. I'll get your story out. But to the best of this parent, I spoke to the dad at length. At length, not an interview, just at length. And he said, to the best of his knowledge, his kid was the only kid that was singled out. He said when he woke up that morning after sleeping on it, that kind of, he had some questions about that. It's one of the things that precipitated the phone call back to them. Like all of this stinks, all of it.
Yeah, I would like to find out if there was other kids who were or were not vaccinated that were there. That's another question that needs to be asked.
And he is, I'm not at liberty to discuss it, but I can say I believe that he is working with individuals, organizations, and they're going to get this all straightened out.
Okay, all right.
And I know this firsthand account that legislators are working on something for penalties for breach of informed consent. And so when stuff like this happens, there are actual penalties involved, monetary, maybe even, well, I'm not at liberty to say that, so I won't.
Go ahead and finish reading.
Yeah.
Before you say something you shouldn't.
Yeah. The implication that merely attending the same event equates to meaningful exposure, something that I said, particularly among those who may have been vaccinated, contradicts common standards for risk assessment and deserves scrutiny. Vaccination does not eliminate risk. Facts matter. And as we can clearly see, the kid that kicked all this out, or the spectator that kicked all this off, was vaccinated. Public data consistently shows that the measles vaccine is effective in reducing the likelihood of infection, but is not an absolute safeguard. Outbreaks can still occur even among vaccinated cohorts. The vaccination status alone should not be the sole factor in determining whether a student's activities are restricted. And I am going to put this release is like 2 pages long. I am going to put it on my social media. And I would encourage you, as a matter of fact, I would just encourage you to go straight to Health Freedom North Dakota and get that information and make sure you support those guys. Go right to their social media, go right to their website so they can get all that traffic and know how much support that they have. Because I know a lot of times folks like me and folks like them are out there fighting and fighting and fighting. It looks like we don't have a lot of support. And it's a lot of times all it takes is, hey, click the like button or, send an email. Hey, I support what you guys are doing. You give me some more information on X, Y, and Z. Now, I didn't read all of that because I want to talk to you guys about something else. So, as we're talking about this whole measles and everything, before my time runs out, I want to come on. Here we go. Oh, and the gremlins are messing with me now. Come on. All right, so it doesn't want to pull up for me there. Give me one more second here. Oh my God. So it's not going to pull up. Also on my social media, I will be posting. Yep, the link's broken now. I will be posting. I have no idea. Like gremlins, man. I will be posting the information from this Substack about not just the effectiveness or ineffectiveness of these vaccines, but they're linked to 2,657% more U.S. deaths than measles infections since 1995.
Yeah.
CDC data. I am going to post all that. I'm going to post that link. It's on there now, but it's kind of far down, and the link appears to be broken. But you guys really should read this. It is the stuff that during COVID you were not allowed to see. Even now, again, I'm trying to click on the link and it's just not working. I don't know, but the fact of the matter is, the pharmaceutical companies, and it is shocking to me how Democrats, for all this time, didn't trust big pharma, didn't trust big government, and now they love it. What do I call him? Lartard over there at Inforum, Rob Port. He can't get enough. But give me that jab, Daddy. Give me that jab. Can I have another? Can I have another, please? All in his fat face, and that's all he talks about now. Is you go to don't go to his feed, but if you happen to scroll by it, you'll see that's all he talks about. Like, he cannot get enough of the jabby jab. Anyway, that's their life now. And if you do a little research, one of the reasons they were so livid about RFK is because he was exposing a lot of this stuff, a lot of. And like, my eyes were open. Like, I've always been skeptical of the government. It's kind of who I am. But then the COVID thing happened, and I started reading a lot more about all of the, not just the new technology and our vaccinations. Like, we even changed what the definition of a vaccination was. We even changed that. The guy behind this new technology, this what's it called? The new technology that the COVID vaccine was under. I can't remember. But the guy behind that said, "Hey, we need to pump the brakes on this," and they censored him. They censored the dude who was behind the technology that gave you the COVID vaccination. Or I don't call it a vaccination. It's a therapeutic at best, and it's just so many problems. But anyway, I'll probably do a midweek show with that information in it too, and I'll just do the hard copy and throw it right on the screen. I do, before we go, because we're already past our 2-hour mark, I want to leave you with this question. I want you to read this. North Dakota birth rate down 35%, but enrollment is up since 2016. Fewer births mean, like, right in this thing, there's a contradiction. Fewer births mean fewer students and new pressures on taxpayers. So you read through this and you see that there are 50 plus private schools in North Dakota, and they've been opening up, especially in the past five years, more private schools. The homeschool students in North Dakota have skyrocketed, and the birth rate is 35% down. Yet the enrollment rate in public schools have an 11% increase. Make that math work for me, Michael.
Oh,
tell me what's going on there.
Yeah, that's real easy. See, what you have here is a bunch of illegals being brought in. So you bring your illegals into the school, even though you're not married. That's how you change the dynamic of the population here in North Dakota.
Wait. Hold on. I remember.
You should see your face right now, Leon.
I remember the great Messiah, the Savior, Barack Obama.
Yep.
Saying that he was going to inject color into these way too white enclaves of Americana. Do you remember that? I will
Yeah.
post that quote later on.
Look at Minnesota, look at California, look at New York, look at even here. When you have the only reason it's a control thing. All right.
Yep.
So the powers in the be do not really want this state to grow. We have more money, more everything, but they're trying to keep the population at 850. That's why they were supporting abortion and all this other stuff. Whatever reason why the births are less, they're still trying to bring outsiders, illegals. You have.
I think it's a mindset too.
Yeah,
they don't like the North Dakota.
Yeah, and change that, because believe it or not, even though we're supposed to be Republican red, we're not. We're really not, because we have globalist, socialist people in our government. You know, when you look at what's happening in Fargo with the people running, you got the people in Bismarck. Grand Forks is a good example. They're not looking for the benefit of the people. You know, they're spending the money. They want people who say yes. So if you're an illegal, you're going to say yes to whatever the people in charge who brought you in, to whatever they say. That's what they're doing. You know, so when you see the homeschooling, you know what? That's going to be a generation that is really going to, they learn about the Constitution. They learn about the Bill of Rights. That's part of their curriculum. Those are the ones that are going to be help changing our state to put back. Even though we're going to have illegals coming in and they're running, because they're running for office already. You can see that now, because it's terrible. But I pray that now is the time the people of North Dakota, especially you homeschoolers, get involved in government. We could take back our state. You're the ones who will make the right laws. The things you want to do is follow the U.S. Constitution, the North Dakota Constitution. You follow those two things, and the old 2020 Republican platform will eliminate so many things, so many issues in our state.
We didn't even get to talk about that.
I know. There's another time. We got a lot to talk about. I think you only got about 2 on your list.
We me and Michael were talking about that the time. Like, there was a time where yours truly, like, I loved when the resolutions, like when your district chair would go, "Hey, who wants to be on the resolution committee?"
Yep.
And then I got jaded. I'm like, wait, what are we doing, dude? And we're going to talk about that. And you put a bug in my ear when you told me how many resolutions there are now versus like when I was doing it. And then I started thinking about back to that whole Grand Forks thing, and I'm like, wow. There is, anyway, that'll be another show. I'm already over my time here. I want to thank everybody that tuned in. I want to thank Michael for coming on and being the voice of reason and my woosah. What's that guy? The guru or yoga or whatever.
You did good today, Leon. You did excellent.
Next week, Bob Wheeler. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
There you go.
But this has been fun. This is Blackbeard Logic. I'm going to end on a commercial, and we will see you guys next week, 6 p.m. Friday. Blackbeard Logic. Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.
Lauer Auto Repair, Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Good night. God bless.
You too, buddy.